Hey guys, Lawrence here from Tabletop Tactics, here to talk to you about the Las Vegas Open. So as you probably are all very well aware, the results are pretty much spilled across the internet, and if you've been keeping up to date, then of course you would know probably where I've ranked actually overall, and maybe we'll have a good idea of actually how I did in my games. But for those of you that don't know, or for those of you that are specifically interested in seeing exactly what it is that I came up across against, and the sorts of armies that were there and the actual feel of the experience in the event, as promised, I did record a ton of footage for you. So hopefully you will get a really good idea of what it's like. So based on that, I won't tell you what happened until you've watched the video, and then I will go over my thoughts for it afterwards. So I've put together a video for you, and that is coming up in just a second.
Team Tabletop Tactics, here we go. This is Lawrence, and we're kicking off the LVO in style, playing Christian, and it's an absolutely awesome army I'm facing. So the Ghosts were given first turn, that's the correct play by Christian, and he is deploying his Alpha Predators. We've got Manius Calgar and Stern Guards. We've got another unit of Stern Guards, all combi melted up, and we have a Centurion Star with Tigirius there looking at the Wraith Knight. I did get Scryer's Gaze, Shrouding, and Precognition off for what it's worth. And I pretty much have moved over to all of my Maelstrom objectives on turn one. I got Secure Objective 1, which is this one, and I got Line Breaker effectively, which is having a unit in the enemy deployment zone. So it looks like I will have both my Maelstrom points, but impossible for me to get first strike because he had no army on the table. So, so good stuff. Hope you're enjoying this, guys. I hope you can hear me over the noise, but an awesome opening to the LVO. I will do a summary for you after the game ends. Right, team, so here we go. The end of the game has happened, and I did take the primary, this objective here, and this objective here in the Emperor's Will, and I did take the Maelstrom as well, ran away with that, got 2 points every turn, and then with a combination of Linebreaker, Warlords, Big Game Hunter, etc., I have managed to take the full 11 points, which is pretty lucky, because it was an awesome army I was facing, and the Scent Star did indeed kill my Wraith Knight in the first turn, so yet again got to do nothing with him, and he killed a lot of jet bikes, but in the end just the saturation of units and this Crimson Death formation came on. We killed Calgo, we just absolutely removed all of his mobility on taking the objectives, and that was the game, certain match. So the Orthanc Ghosts are 11 points up, so crushing victory, or crushing defeat for my opponent, but as one of the TOs just said to me, good luck in the Lion's Den in the next rounds, because I'll be facing someone else who also got the full 11. So wish me luck, guys. Team Tabletop Tactics, we're kicking off the second game here in the Las Vegas Open, and the Ghosts are deployed. Uniquely, I have first turn for a change. I've been unlucky with getting first turn recently, but there you go. Got first turn. I'm playing a very interesting list. We're talking Eldar with a Skatach Wraith Knight, so D3 melter shots effectively. We've got 6 units of 3 scatter bikes, so similar to mine. We've got a single wind runner Farseer in a scat pack unit there. We've got 3 distort cannons, so Vor's Wrath heavy weapons battery there. We've got Kotiaz and a servitor unit. Then in reserve we've got drop pods with Centurions and of course Librarian with Hunter's Eye for ignore cover. And then we've got outflanking a land speeder and 2 units of scouts. So that is the list up against the ghosts today, and we are playing the deadly relic. There's a relic there. We've got 2 Maelstrom objectives here. So folks, that's it. Wish me luck. Let's see how we do in round 2. Right team, here we go at the end of the turn, the game I should say, and it is a tale of tragedy. I had an extremely strong start, destroyed his Grav Star, destroyed his Wraith Knight at the end of the game, to be honest, but ultimately he had one lucky turn where basically all of his scat bikes managed to destroy my Hornets and all of my jet bikes. It was incredible. The luck was I could not make 3-up saves to save my life, and ultimately that's what dropped me the game here, because I was unable to hold the relic. And in fact, just up until the last turn, I still had 1 scat bike left and 1 Farseer. I was holding the relic. He ultimately just took it at the end. Still got the flyers alive, but it is a tale of tragedy, an incredible defeat, an incredible game. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, but unfortunately this was purely down to dice. This is what happens sometimes. The 1s and 2s were on form and Lawrence's luck was not on point, but we are 1 game up, 1 game down. Let's see what happens in game 3. Okay folks, here we are in game 3. Another, unfortunately in terms of excitement and variety, a bit dull, because I'm playing Eldar again. I wish I bought my Dark Elder now, but look, that's cool guys. So what we've got is I've got first turn, it's Purge the Alien. My opponent here playing well, he's reserved everything. I have first turn, and I just sort of move flat out to take my Maelstrom objectives. But he's got the Skyhammer Annihilation Force allied with Eldar, so it's 1 detachment Skyhammer Annihilation. This is a unit of Grav here, this is a unit of multi-melters here. Then as you can see in reserve, he's got 3 Hornets, and he's got 6 units of Scat Bikes. He's got a Forge Rod Wraith Knight and a single Autarch, so he comes in and reserves it too. So as you would expect, pretty standard Eldar list, but with the flavour of Skyhammer. Interesting stuff, so we'll see what happens guys. Alright guys, so it is the end of the game, and it was about to be my turn 5, but unfortunately Arthur decided to concede, which is understandable. The Wraith Knight essentially remaining invisible the majority of the game was a boss. He did actually pull off a massive beta strike, because everything came in on 2s and he got Strategic Genius. So he came in hot and blew most of my army off the table. So by that point I was pretty much convinced that this could have been a goner, this game, but I managed to, with some cheeky Eldar Assault moves, hide some of my units behind here, and I was jumping out and doing Psychic Shrieks, removing units very, very successfully with Psychic Shrieks, like an absolute weapon. So I was quite pleased with how the Farseers worked in this game, and Crimson Death, as always, did massive work. So kill points is out of the way, thank goodness, and that is a victory to the Orthanc Ghosts. Right folks, here we go. It is ITC scenario 4, 4th game, 2nd day. This is the Scouring, modified Scouring, and I'm playing another Eldar player. This is a running theme here. He's got Guardian Warhost, and he's got 3 units of Guardians, all tucked away here. He gave me first turn, which is smart play from my opponent. We respect that life choice. I, however, have got invisibility, and I've got, this is my turn 2 now. I've just got my 3 flyers on. Currently racking up the Maelstrom points. The big guy looks like he's going to be able to pull off that charge this turn, so that's pretty cool. But he's got an aspect host of 3 units of warp spiders in reserve. He's also got 3 scat packs, got 2 Farseers, and Autark. I do have -1 on this reserve roll, interestingly enough, but his Autark will, in a weird way, negate that, because he'll put +1 on there. So not bad. Let's see what happens. Wish me luck, guys. Right, folks, so here we are, and it is the end of the game. 3rd Eldar match down. Let's see what happens in the next game when I play Eldar again. But right, on a serious note, so the game has ended. As you can see, I've got 2 Crimson Hunters alive, got the Wraith Knight alive, and absolutely nothing else. I had an incredibly bad turn where I rolled 1s and 2s on my saves for Farseers, and they were all instant killed. So basically that swung the game massively, and I was really dominant before in the game. But look, that's what's happened. So he ended up winning the primary. This is the scouring mission. He won the primary because he's obviously holding more objectives. A warp spiders here, a bike unit here, and a bike unit there holding those objectives. But he, just by taking a wound from my Wraith Knight, he managed to draw the Maelstrom. The way ITC works means that I don't get any points for the Maelstrom, because otherwise I was winning the Maelstrom, and it would have been an actual victory for the Ghosts, because I got Big Game Hunter, Linebreaker, and Slay the Warlord. So unfortunately, that is a loss for the Ghosts. That means that I'm out of the qualifying requirements for the top 8. And a depressing way to go out with my 3rd Eldar matchup. Again, I reiterate, I would have loved to have bought the Dark Eldar. It just would have been probably more fun than playing yourself 3 times in a row. But this is good. It's an amazing event. Lots of cool people. And we'll hopefully win our next 2 games and go out with a winning record. Let's see what happens. Right, guys, team, we are now in ITC scenario 5. It is Big Guns Never Tire modified, so we've got 4 objectives hanging here. Those 4 objectives are 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Opponent's null deployed effectively. It's got a unit of warp spiders tucked in there. It's got a unit of warp spiders tucked in here, or warp spiders tucked in here. I gave him first turn. I've deployed my entire force. Of course, it's traditional, got my Crimson Death in reserve. And unfortunately, guys, this for me has really soured the event. I'm playing Eldar again. It's the 4th game in a row. None of the other guys I've played, I've come with actually here, have drawn Eldar. So I've just drawn them 4 times in a row. Really, to be honest, at this point, I'll go so far as to say boring, which is a shame. It is a shame. It's soured it, but that's okay. Look, we're playing again. Aspect host formation, 3 units of warp spiders. We've got another Forge World Wraith Knight, and we've got 6 scat packs with a Farseer, and we've got a Void Shield generator, which is hanging out right here. So classic stuff. Let's see what happens. I am about to take my first turn. All right, team, so here we are. We are back with the Ghosts, and it is the end of turn 4. Actually, well, my opponent's turn 4. I technically have 1 more turn to play, but he has conceded. Next turn would have been my turn 4, I should say. But ultimately, we've run out of time, and he wasn't going to win it because I was just going to turbo boost on every objective with my bikes, and I was going to try and destroy his Warp Hunters. They're already both damaged. To get the additional Maelstrom points for Big Guns Never Tire. So that is a complete victory. It's 11-0 to the Ulthane Ghosts. So we're back on a winning record now, which is nice. Let's see what happens in the last game of the day. Right, team, Tabletop Tactics. We are back in the last game of the tournament for the Ulthane Ghosts, at least. And this is the 6th game. You can see my deployment is effectively the ITC version of the Crusade. Guess what? Yeah, it's the fifth Eldar game in a row. The only difference with this one, as opposed to the others, they've got 5 scat packs, and they've got 3 units of 2 Hornets, and instead of an aspect host, effectively. Got 2 Warp Hunters, and of course has the Forge World Wraith Knight, which is the shiz at the moment. So, Unfortunately, I know some of you are probably thinking, wow, this is boring with 5 Elder games in a row. And guys, I have to admit, I have had a great time so far. Like, I've met some awesome people, but to play this 5 times in a row is a little sour. Next time, I will bring the Dark Elder, I promise you, because I suspect that no one else will. But we will see what happens. I've got an awesome opponent. This is the last game of the event. Let's see how I do. Wish me luck. Team, it is the final game complete, and I have to admit, he was incredibly unlucky on his first turn. He did try and get the Alpha Strike on me, but I hit a lot of units, and he basically missed with all of his D-Hunter's indirect fire, so that was bad. But then he got his luck back, which is awesome, and he killed my Wraith Knight, even though he was invisible. We love it. And the game ended, in summary, guys, with me having the last turn because he went first, and I was just able to just jump on the primary objectives, which tends to be what happens in these ITC missions. But he absolutely hammered me in terms of the tertiary, so he got all 3 points: First Blood, Warlord, and Linebreaker. But I got Linebreaker, just my Hornets tucked in underneath there, contesting a primary objective. This Farsi is contesting a primary objective. I've got Scat Pack under here contesting primary objective. I get this one here, which won me just by 1 point in the end. So victory to the Orphan Ghosts. We finish with 4 wins and 2 losses. I guess that's not bad. What do you think?
That's fucking damn good.
So guys, that was the wrap-up video for the Las Vegas Open 2016. I hope you got a really good sense of how cool the atmosphere was and how vast the event was. You know, we had 300 players that were participating in the 40k championship alone. I'm not sure exactly how many Warmer Hordes players there were, but we had the narrative campaign and the narrative event for 40k, plus you had the Horus Heresy games going on as well, plus you had all of the vendor stands, you know, some really cool bits of custom terrain, you know, resin objective markers, movement trays, custom 40k templates. It was just literally a gamer's retreat and an awesome experience. So I hope that was conveyed in the video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. And overall, out of those 6 games that you saw me play, so obviously winning 4 and dropping 2, you know what, I'm very happy with that result. I ended up ranking 54 out of 300, and I always knew, you know, the army that I'd probably struggle with against would probably be another Elder player, right? Because at that point it's a bit like rock, paper, scissors, especially with the games that I ended up playing, which were all basically my list with a slight variation. So instead of Crimson Hunters, they had, you know, Skyhammer Annihilation Force or Warp Hunters, but you know, it was all pretty much the same flavor, right? And or a Void Shield Generator. But the point I'm making is this, is that to draw Elder 5 times in a row was obviously extremely unlucky. You know, funny enough, of all of the group that I met there, including Ace Face, who went over with me, they didn't even play Elder once. So I think I must have taken all of the best Elder players, bar Sean Naden and Alex Harrison, who finished 1st and 2nd. I must have taken all of the others for the team and either halted their progress in the tournament and or stalled them enough for Sean and Alex to go right through to the end. And congratulations to them both. Really interesting lists. I particularly like Sean Naden's list, obviously because at heart I'm a Dark Elder player, right? And so he had an Allied Corpse Thief Claw. For those of you that aren't aware, you could just Google LVO 2016 tournament winning tournament list, and you should see the top 8 lists come up. I believe they are available on the Frontline Gaming website as well. But let's talk a little bit about that because I know that I've had a lot of questions around it. You know, some people were all questioning, well, how did Alex win? You know, go Alex, by the way. He came from the UK. I believe he plays in the ETC and he represents on the UK squad. So, you know, well done, sir. I didn't get to meet him when I was out there, but, you know, look, well played. There's a reason why he went all the way. And the main reason for it is, guys, because if you haven't seen, he basically had a Warp Spider spam list, if you like. And the new Doom of My Mirror book effectively allows you to swap out Guardians for Aspect Warriors as like in their core formations. So basically he can end up getting Warp Spiders in his core selections, and then he takes an Aspect couple of aspect hosts of more warp spiders. And if you're wondering, well, why the warp spiders? Why the warp spiders? For those of you which obviously play a lot of ITC events and are on the tournament scene, you know, I'm obviously telling you something you already know here, right? But I know that there's a lot of you that would be interested in why they are so good and how it is that he was able to go the full distance. Because even on his Wraith Knight, he didn't really have any serious anti-tank. He took the Forge World variant with the Hellstorm template, which is only strength 7. So you must be thinking, well, how does he do this? Well, what the Warp Spiders do and what they're guaranteed in an ITC format event, especially at the LVO where Frontline are running it, is every single table, and you would have seen this in the battle reports, every single one, like without fail, had 2 very large, and by very large I mean 2 to 3 story minimum buildings blocking line of sight just off center, just off either center. So no matter what the deployment type, you're always guaranteed these big line of sight blockers. Now, unfortunately, it's a great thing to have, and it makes the game far more even overall and interesting, but it just happens that Warp Spiders right now in that meta are extremely powerful, because what happens is the unit just moves up, you know, they go one side of the wall, and whenever you target them, they do use their special rule called flicker jump, and they literally just flicker jump on the other side of the rule and of the wall, and you waste your firepower. So imagine if you've got practically an army of these things. They're at that point, because of the 2 line of sight blocking bits of terrain, unless you surround them, they are all but impossible to kill. They literally are. They're just all but impossible to kill, which means you're always going to have those units to grab the objectives. They're also the complete anti to some of the big, you know, meta giants right now, such as the Wraith Knight, because they wound on initiative. So all of the, you know, storm surges, so that, you know, they're wounding all of these big monsters, which are so popular in the game right now. They're like the perfect anti-weapon to them, you know. So that's why they're so powerful. So I thought I'd clarify that, because I was getting so many questions, you know, I wonder, how did this guy go all the way? And that's the reason, you know, he built a list which ultimately was tailored for the ITC meta, and that is just good. That's just good list writing, you know, there's just no doubt about it. And the sad thing is that there isn't really an answer to fixing them, because the Warp Spiders with that ability, I'm just going to go outright and say it, you know, and this is not taking away from anyone's win that uses Warp Spiders, but they are just outright broken in that format, because you can't kill them. The only way that you can circumnavigate is with indirect fire weapons. So Warp Hunters are great, you know, things like Basilisks. Night Spinners, ironically, would actually be quite good, even though you wouldn't really see Night Spinners normally in the LVO tournament. But, you know, any indirect fire weapon will be good, because you don't need the line of sight, and or any assault-based army or fast assault units. So you just don't shoot at them, so they can't flicker jump away out of line of sight, and then you just assault them. But they do have hit and run, so if you don't kill them, they're going to get away from you. So that gives you an idea of how it works and how tough a Warp Spider army is right now, particularly in the ITC meta, where you're guaranteed those line of sight blocking bits of terrain. So it'd be interesting to see how the Frontline Gaming guys, Reese and Frankie, who I met out there, awesome dudes. I met them very briefly, but lovely chatting to you guys. If you happen to be watching this video, be very interesting to see how they try and combat that next year, because for me, in my opinion, no matter what is released now, unless everyone starts tailoring armies with indirect fire and so forth, it's going to be a hard army to beat. You know, Warp Spider spam is the new thing. It's the new hotness in terms of ITC events this year. Expect it to be doing well for a long time. But this is the beauty of this game. You know, it used to be Cent Star. Things change. The game does mix up, and we will see what happens over the coming year. So, guys, hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed my roundup. You know, if you've got any questions or any further comments, leave a comment below. You know, I always try and reply to all of them. And, you know, let me know your own thoughts. I met a ton of you out there. And, you know, if you're watching this video now, thank you for coming to say hi. It was lovely meeting you all. And next year, guys, this is what I'm going to end the video on. Next year, I pledge to go with my first love. So I am going again to Las Vegas Open, and I will be going with the Dark Elder. So the Void Spiders will be going. I'll be living up to my name, my nickname, the Spider, because I think I ultimately would have had a lot more fun from the gaming experience point of view. You know, there were only 3 Dark Elder players there that I saw. There may have been only 3. I'm sure there must have been more. There were so many players, but I just, you know, for me, I think I would have had a ton of fun going with my primary faction, even though they are arguably bottom tier right now in terms of, you know, ITC competitive play. But I think I would have had more fun going for that and then going for something like best faction with the Dark Elder. So that's what I'm going to do next year. That's my pledge to you guys. So expect to see me there. Plus, I've already got some ITC events lined up, which I'm going to, so I will be able to start ranking with the Dark Elder this year. So really exciting year ahead. Should be a really exciting ITC season, and hopefully I will rank highly come 2017. So guys, that is it. That is the roundup video complete. I hope you enjoyed it, and just to reiterate, thank you all for all of the support that you've given me. You know, all of the people that came to say hi at the LVO, all of the comments on Instagram and on Facebook whilst I was out there, and since I've come back, has just been absolutely amazing. So I thank you so much for that. And I will be going to a ton of events this year around the UK. I'm going out to Gibraltar again, No Retreat Tournament 2, to defend that title, because I am the current reigning champion over there. So I have to go and defend with the Void Spiders, of course. So, you know, if you're going to these events, guys, make sure you come and say hi. I always love meeting you. And I look forward to seeing you all in both the next event and the next video.